Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I decided not to go back to the butcher. I figured it's definitely possible to do it, but especially with that staff and its DFE. But it's a long way to go, and likely it'll just give me some equipment that's a little bit over this, I guess, level. Not to say it would be like too easy, but kind of unnecessarily easy if I got lucky. I wonder if bosses just don't have mobs in horror. Maybe it's just a special type. I'll have to get used to looking at the corner of the screen here. I know it's a huge advantage anytime there's a hidden around if you're a scout or a mage, but the way my screen is it's like really wide, so it's so far in the corner of my vision that it's almost like tilting my head just to see it. I like to take it a step back at a time if I can. I'm not sure if it's really a good idea, but they don't seem to catch me very much when I do it. You think you'd be penalized from taking a step back usually, but it seems you can do it at just about the same speed that they can. Then you can get that first strike again. I kind of take it as like the middle ground between just going all the way back to the door and like kind of doing what you can before then. starting to notice the damage here. That was a good lucky early drop to find. I'm not sure if this is a good ratio yet for melee champs. I think this is the resolution I wanted to try on my mage, so I could like, it's that middle ground where you could try and get better at teleporting at a specific place. Like, it is way harder when the screen's bigger, as opposed to normal Thehell settings. But if it's too big, then it's like you can't land 4 spaces away from the wall for like a lightning ring or something. It just got really hard, so I figured do it in stages. And I almost kind of figured that they'd nerf it just because it's, I'd say it's kind of cheating. Like if you have infravision, you can just see the whole fucking screen. Oh nice, magic. But I don't know. It's not like a crazy stat advantage or anything, but it just kind of like, you know, do I like playing with a bigger resolution or do I like the advantage it gives me? And when they're so close together like that, I'm not really sure what I like better. I have auto backup set on, but I still don't really trust it. It's hear a lot of horror stories on the forums where people just, you know, they got to level 35 or sometimes even level 50 with like all their great items, and they're just hard drive wipes or something like that. So it's like, I should probably back up on top of the backups. I guess that's another question to go through is why do the Thehell2 instead of the Thehell1? And it's mostly just because there'll probably be one instance through the playthrough where I can't really remember what happened and I'll just notice there's a problem. So if I can look back at the playthrough, I can be like, okay, well, the last time I played through I noticed it, and this is what I did in the last hour and a half. Maybe I can pinpoint problems that way better. But yeah, the Thehell1 is pretty polished. There's almost no bugs, at least that people don't really know about. And the only bugs I think I ever even seen to begin with was on multiplayer, because the shit that goes on in multiplayer is so fucking random. Like, enemies will fucking float through lightning walls and stuff, and it's just not possible. Like, enemies that take lightning damage shouldn't go through lightning walls, unless they're like, you know, werewolves or like the butcher or something. But they do, and you see it, and you're just like, this is a new bug. But it's really just because you have like 4 people on Tungle from across the world. People have been telling me about Evolve. Supposedly that's good to get connected with. I haven't tried it yet because Tungle, cross my fingers, has worked so far with the people that I wanted to play with. But I know that like 3 out of the 4 people trying to do an Iron Man couldn't connect with each other. They could only connect to me, which is really strange because I mean, I live like way up in Canada. You think like the United States would like connect the best, but I guess not. Well, Unfortunate. Jeez, maybe I should have brought more potions with me. Oh no, I still got quite a bit. It's really fucking annoying. I could go into unknown territory and maybe make a better pick, but I don't really like that habit of going into the unknown. It's different when you're a mage and you can just warp out of, you know, a bad situation like that, but if I start doing it on melee champions, then, well, when I go to do it on Doom, it really wouldn't be much of a good idea. There we go, helm. I don't think I can wear circlets yet. Oh, I can. Oh wow, that's really well rounded, especially for early on. Very nice. Actually, I should. Well, they can use anything, I guess. I mean, I've seen some monks on Tungle use like one shield and one sword and claim it was good, but I never really know on Tungle because everyone's got, you know, well, not everyone, but majority of people have all the like super dope items, or they have like copies of that Sacred Zodiac, so not really sure what the class is like. Which is why I'm a huge fan of changing all the affixes. I know like on the Thehell2 they recently changed, so I probably won't have to worry about anything. And uniques are always there to, you know, act as a crutch if you do lose all your blue items. And even if I didn't have uniques to back it up, I would still prefer that items be changed, because in a way that's what keeps the game fresh. Like, you know, there's new quests, but that's a lot of fucking work. Like, you know, you need first the content. Like, the game has to have the quests, I think, pre-made in them, or at least some hint at them. I don't know if that's really required or if that's just kind of the way Mordor's went about it. But You gotta have that. You gotta make like, you know, 2 to 3 levels. And then maybe way down the road you might have to like do a couple different layouts. Make some rewards. Like, it's a lot of hassle, but when you think about like changing a few affixes here or there, that could really create a lot of options when you're making your builds. You could think things through a whole lot longer with more options that are viable. The only thing is that usually, at least what I've seen, is people make a suggestion and it's like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, but then we kind of got to change everything so it reflects like, you know, that good idea. So instead of just like making a couple different endgame options, it ends up being like, well, let's redo like the stat limit. And it's like, oh shit, then you got to redo like, you know, 50 uniques, 100 unique, 800 uniques. It's like, wow. In a way, I think it's good though where it's headed right now, because if the affixes are, you know, expanded upon, which they are, and, you know, more thought up of, you could probably do away with a lot of the uniques. I won't say like all of them, because I know a lot of people like having 850 options to pick from, but I honestly think if you have some split stats, kind of like, what's an example, like 1% mana steal and like some other ring affix like fast hit recovery or, you know, negative DFE, you could probably get away with not using a unique ring in that scenario. And instead use like the unique images on something that is actually different, or that you can't find through like the new affixes. I like this door method where you just kind of like wiggle around. You just kind of take a step back and then you kind of line up when they're gonna come through the door. But when you don't have a high chance to hit, it just kind of makes you look like a fool. Wow.
Where would I put this?
Because in Doom, when everything runs away, guaranteed as soon as they see you, like a goat archer, you only really have that one attack to clip them. And if you can't clip them, then, you know, it's pretty much they get away and you gotta try it all over again. Hornbow, that's new. Oh, there we go. That's a nice shrine. I guess I could sell this. This probably won't sell for anything. that's nice. They're all staying in the back there for some arbitrary reason. Now I could probably make a loop out of this. Go around while the big guy's after me and try and pick off the mages. I'm just not sure if they're gonna clip me in the corner or not. Like, it seems like that one should be clipping me, but I guess not. Mess it up a little bit, but I really like pulls like that. It seems that enemies will always come at you from the top square, so you can kind of plan ahead there. It's a little bit tougher when there's so many scorpions, but it saves going back to the door, so I like that.
Carry anymore.
Bam, that is key. As soon as I can start utilizing some walls, should be totally different gameplay. That probably has too high of a magic requirement, so I won't pick that up. But yeah, as soon as I can use the walls, golems I won't be able to, but hopefully some walls early on. Maybe I can get Mana Steel going. I actually got a decent helm here. I think it's better than the peasant cap. And I don't really care to go back to town either. It's probably the biggest point. So I'll just give Snotspill his thing and get some XP while doing it.
cannot carry anymore.
Don't tell me I gotta go back to town. Blacksmith oil. Blacksmith oils I'm kind of on the rope about. I'm always like, well, you could save 200 of them and then actually make an end game piece of gear, have like 200 durability on it, but I mean, going through with like 10 durability on your helm doing Diablo, the mages will just eat it up in no time. Actually, these guys are probably pretty weak, so I could probably just stand in the doorway here. Speed it up. Just interrupted the heal. Maybe because I was holding down the attack button. Yeah, good time to level up. What does Arcane's Valor take? I'll put 2 more points into Dexterity just in case. I honestly have no clue, but everyone's been raving about it when they find it.
May the spirit of Arcane protect me.
Well, maybe this is a repair shrine? Mendicants, maybe. Just basically don't feel like going back to town for a cape. Want to stay in the levels where all the action is. Oh. Well, I guess there's no choice. Just gotta go back. It's about half an hour video, so I'll stop the video here and come back next time. See you guys.